This week began with good news out of the Wolf administration. The governor announced, as we had predicted, that some of the onerous restaurant COVID mitigation would be relaxed beginning in April, specifically on April 4th, Easter Sunday. Self-certifying restaurants will be able to operate at 75% capacity with social distancing and the other CDC recommended guidelines that were in place during Pennsylvania's green phase of reopening. Bar seating is back. The meal requirement to buy alcohol is removed, and the alcohol curfew is canceled. It's also worth noting that while the announcement has been made, the corresponding updates to the guidelines and the FAQ documents has not occurred. We do not anticipate those updates to occur until closer to the effective date, and we'll share the information as soon as it is released on the PRLA daily update. Unfortunately, there was little relief for private events, banquets, and other indoor gatherings, which went from 15% to only 25%. PRLA continues to push to get events reopened at a reasonable level. To that point, the Private Event Professionals of Pennsylvania, known as PEP, along with PRLA, announced the launch of a new website, www.letpamarryus.com, designed to bring awareness to elected officials of the challenges facing the industry in the wake of continued shutdowns and restrictions on private events. The site prompts users to email or tweet the governor in support of safely reopening the industry. On Monday, our partners at the National Restaurant Association held an informational webinar on the Restaurant Revitalization Fund to discuss the program and provide recommended next steps for restaurants interested in applying. They had over 10,000 participants in the session. The National Restaurant Association also launched a new website for the latest information available for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. The link is available in the PRLA daily update. The National Restaurant Association Educational Foundation this week announced a $750,000 grant from Ecolab to support the ProStart program. That grant will be divided equally to states that have ProStart programs like Pennsylvania to help participating schools alleviate some of the challenges brought on by teaching culinary arts and hospitality management during a pandemic. With the AP reporting that Pennsylvania state, county, and city governments are slated to receive $13 billion from the American Rescue Plan, the PRLA continues a strong push in the legislature to dedicate $1 billion of the state's allotment to grants for hospitality, travel, and tourism industries, considered among the hardest hit by the pandemic and government restrictions. The House Tourism and Recreational Development Committee held a hearing on the impact of COVID on the tourism community. PRLA members Daryl Morris from Kalahari Resorts, Lisa Rager from Visit Johnstown, and Carl Kreider from Del Grosso's amusement park testified on behalf of the industry. House Liquor Control Committee Chairman Jeff Pyle this week announced his retirement from the House of Representatives, effective immediately. Chairman Pyle has been a tireless advocate and champion of our industry. In his final act before retirement, Chairman Pyle moved bills from the committee that addresses 5 of PRLA's initiatives. The actions include increasing the licensee discount from 10 to 15% for 3 years upon the conclusion of the disaster declaration, and allowing a licensed premise to be extended to a non-contiguous property up to 1,000 feet beyond the licensed premise. It also will eliminate the $500 fee for an off-premises catering permit, remove the March 1st deadline to apply for the permit, eliminate the 5-hour minimum for events, and lifts the 52 event cap. This will become effective for 1 year after the end of the disaster declaration. Also included is elimination of the fee for licensed safekeeping for 1 additional year after the conclusion of the disaster emergency, and allows a licensee who goes out of business to sell wine and spirits to another licensee. As an update on the $145 million state grant program that PRLA successfully advocated to be used exclusively for restaurants and hotels, counties rolled out information on their COVID hospitality industry relief program, known as CHIRP, on Monday. The PRLA Daily Update includes a link so that you can find your county's website for CHIRP applications. You need to move fast on this. The money won't last long. Allegheny County Executive Rich Fitzgerald vetoed legislation that would have mandated paid sick leave in Allegheny County, citing concerns with the legality of how the bill moved through the process. Last week, the city solicitor had sent a letter to the council warning that the process to pass the bill would likely lose a legal challenge. Like PRLA, County Executive Fitzgerald, via this action, has demonstrated that he believes government should act only in a legal way, and we applaud him. Across the state, Philadelphia City County unanimously passed legislation to expand and extend the public health emergency leave. Mayor Kenney is expected to sign this legislation, which would extend the previous law, as well as provide an additional 80 hours of leave for any business in the city with more than 50 employees. Yesterday's update had a breakdown of the bill's provisions, and you can always find the updates in archive on the PRLA COVID-19 website. A group of state Senate Republican lawmakers announced a package of bills designed to support small businesses that have been impacted by the COVID-19 mitigation orders. I was honored to represent the industry along with PRLA board member Rob Comereau during a news conference at Littus Springs Inn and Spa and Bull's Head Public House. Please remember that while the initial defeat of the Raise the Wage Act in the US Senate was gratifying, this is certainly not the last we will see of it, as the Democrats in both chambers have signaled this issue as one of their top priorities. As a reminder, the legislation would raise the minimum wage to $15 per hour and eliminate the tip credit. So stay tuned for action alerts from the National Restaurant Association and the PRLA. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of It Happened This Week. I'm John Longstreet, and I'll see you again next time.